What's up, Cowboys Nation and all you diehard NFL fans out there? Today's video is absolutely massive because we're diving into one of the most explosive rumors circulating around the league right now. Brandon Aiyuk, the star wide receiver from the San Francisco 49ers, has been linked in a potential move to the Dallas Cowboys. And if this blockbuster deal goes through, it could completely transform the Cowboys offense into one of the most dangerous units in the entire NFL. That's right. A potential trade or acquisition of Aiyuk by Dallas would not only shake up the NFC landscape, but might also serve as the final piece to push the Cowboys over the edge in their quest for a Super Bowl. So sit back, grab a snack, and let's get into the nitty-gritty. We're going to break down who Brandon Aiyuk is, why the Cowboys would want him, what kind of impact he would have on the offense, how he'd fit alongside CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott, the risk factors with his recent injury, his contract situation, how this all aligns with the Cowboys' broader strategy, and finally, what this move would mean for the rest of the NFC, especially for rivals like the Eagles, the 49ers, and even teams in the AFC watching this arms race closely. Now, let's start with some context. Brandon Aiyuk was drafted in the first round by the San Francisco 49ers in the 2020 NFL Draft, and ever since then, he has steadily developed into one of the league's most complete wide receivers. He has that rare blend of speed, precise route running, and yards after catch explosiveness that separates the good from the great. In 2022 and 2023, Aiyuk began to emerge as a top-tier threat, putting up big numbers and making clutch plays in key moments. In the 2023 season, he finished with over 1,300 receiving yards and 7 touchdowns, making him a second-team All-Pro and solidifying his reputation as legitimate WR1 on a team already loaded with playmakers like Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, and Christian McCaffrey. But behind the scenes, all wasn't smooth. Aiyuk wanted to get paid, rightfully so, and his contract situation began to stir up some drama in the offseason. The 49ers found themselves in a tricky spot, paying so many stars on both sides of the ball, including future deals for Brock Purdy, and maintaining a strong defensive core, made it increasingly difficult to keep everyone happy financially. Aiyuk reportedly skipped voluntary workouts, and rumors about a possible trade began circulating early. While the Niners ended up extending Aiyuk in 2024 with a massive 4-year deal worth over $100 million, the move was seen by some analysts as short-term insurance rather than a long-term commitment, especially considering that just weeks later, Aiyuk suffered a devastating knee injury, a torn ACL and MCL. That ended his 2024 season prematurely. This changed everything. Suddenly, the 49ers were stuck holding a massive contract for a player who wouldn't contribute that year. And with questions surrounding his recovery timeline and their cap flexibility tightening up fast, whispers of trading him intensified, even if the organization tried to publicly downplay them. That's where the Cowboys come in. Known for making big swings and being aggressive and chasing top-tier talent, especially under Jerry Jones, the Cowboys have never been shy about bringing in big names to keep the franchise in the spotlight. And right now, Dallas is in a peculiar position, loaded with talent but still falling short in the postseason. CeeDee Lamb has emerged as a bona fide superstar, leading the league in receptions and targets and becoming Dak Prescott's go-to guy. But beyond Lamb, the Cowboys' receiving core has lacked consistency. Michael Gallup has struggled to return to form after his own injury, and Brandon Cooks, while experienced and still capable of making plays, hasn't had the dominant impact the team hoped for. Adding someone like Aiyuk could be a total game changer, giving the Cowboys a second elite wideout who can stretch the field, beat man coverage, and create chaos after the catch. The idea of a two-headed monster with Lamb and Aiyuk, supported by Cooks, tight ends like Jake Ferguson, and a powerful run game led by Tony Pollard or whoever is in the backfield. That's enough to give any defensive coordinator nightmares. And don't forget the quarterback. whether it's still Dak Prescott under center or a new face in the near future. Having weapons like Aiyuk opens up the playbook dramatically. It forces defenses to choose double Lamb and let Aiyuk work one-on-one, or focus on stopping Aiyuk's deep threats and allow Lamb to eat up yardage underneath. Either way, it makes the Cowboys' offense more multidimensional, less predictable, and significantly harder to stop. That said, it's not all sunshine and touchdowns. There are definitely risks involved. Aiyuk is coming off a serious knee injury, and while medical technology and rehab practices have come a long way, there's always a question about how explosive and confident a player will be in his first year back. The Cowboys medical team would have to do a deep dive into his recovery status, and the front office would need to structure any deal in a way that protects the team from taking on too much risk too soon. Then there's the money. Aiyuk's contract is no joke, but it includes a significant base salary, signing bonuses, and incentives that could weigh heavily on the Cowboys' cap sheet, especially as they look to re-sign or extend other key players like Micah Parsons, Trevon Diggs, and possibly even Dak if they decide to stick with him long term. Financial gymnastics would be required, perhaps involving a contract restructure, player-for-player trade, or even spreading out the cap hit over multiple years, though the timing of such a move would also be critical, especially around bonus deadlines in the trade window. But let's entertain the upside here. If Aiyuk returns to even 90% of his pre-injury form, this could go down as one of the smartest moves Dallas has ever made. It wouldn't just elevate the offense, it would energize the entire franchise. Cowboys fans who have been starving for postseason success and often frustrated by close but not quite seasons would rally around a bold, aggressive push to win now. It would signal to the league and to fans that Dallas is tired of being good. They want to be great. And let's be honest, the NFC is wide open right now. The Eagles are strong but beatable. The 49ers themselves have question marks at key spots. And no other team in the conference has the same mix of star power, fan base, and marketability as the Cowboys. The addition of Aiyuk could tip the scales, making Dallas the team to beat not just on paper, but on the field. Of course, there would be pressure, huge pressure. A move like this sets expectations sky high, and anything short of a conference title game, maybe even a Super Bowl appearance, would be seen as a failure. The media spotlight would be hotter than ever, and the margin for error would shrink dramatically. But that's the price of greatness. That's what you sign up for when you play in Dallas. And Aiyuk, based on everything we've seen from his career so far, seems like the kind of player who could thrive in that environment. He plays with swagger, confidence, and a chip on his shoulder. He doesn't back down from challenges, and he's shown that he can perform in big moments. Give him a stage like AT&T Stadium and a quarterback who can get him the ball, and we might be looking at one of the most electric duos in the league. Now, fans are already buzzing about this possibility, debating whether it's realistic, smart, or even necessary. Some argue the Cowboys should invest in their offensive line or defensive depth instead. Others think it's a no-brainer. That a talent like Aiyuk, even with the injury and contract baggage, is simply too good to pass up. That's the conversation happening right now in fan forums, radio shows, and across social media. But no matter where you stand, you can't deny that this rumor has legs. And if the front office is serious about making 2025 the year they finally break through the NFC ceiling, this kind of aggressive headline-making move might be exactly what it takes. So here's the bottom line. If Brandon Aiyuk is truly available, and if the Cowboys can make the numbers work, this could go down as the most impactful move of the offseason. It's high risk, high reward, and it comes with enormous upside for both player and team. We're talking about transforming the offense, raising the ceiling, and sending a message to the entire NFL that the Dallas Cowboys aren't just here to compete, but yet they're here to conquer. Let me know in the comments what you think. Would you want to see Aiyuk in a Cowboys uniform? Yeah, what would you give up to get him? And how do you think he'd change this offense? Be sure to like the video if you're hyped about this possibility, subscribe if you haven't already, and ring that notification bell so you never miss an update on the Cowboys NFL trades and all the stories shaping the league. This is one you'll want to stay close to, because if it happens, it could redefine everything about the 2025 season. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Cowboys!